Greetings, this is David Hicks. Thank you for tuning into this video / podcast, a podcast so new, I don't even know what I'm going to name it yet. Maybe the I'm Hick-sided podcast. I don't know, but my friend may have something else to say about that. For the very first episode, I do have with us David Tank Johnson, my childhood friend. We grew up together in the small town of Rockwood, Tennessee, where there is indeed a rock and a piece of wood, and that's about it. So we love that town. We loved growing up together. We played basketball together in high school, went to the same high school. It was always funny to us. People would ask us, what high school do you go to? It was always Rockwood High School. There wasn't any other options. All right. So David is very unique. He is someone unlike anyone else you will meet, I'm sure, because he has survived 14 strokes. 14 strokes. And he today is here to try and get out the message about the importance of taking care of ourselves. So David, first thing I wanted to ask you is just give a general background about yourself, whatever you want to say about yourself. Then we'll get deeper into your story.
Well, first off, let me start by saying I have a lot of friends, so-called friends through life. I have from high school, from my quick run into college, from my job in the newspaper, radio, and local television. But when this happened, the 14 strokes, there was one person, one of my friends that reached out to me. It was you, David, and I want to thank you for it. And I just want to say that. But now, what did you ask me?
Yeah, I'll just give first, you're welcome. And that was definitely to me a promise of God that he brought us back into our life, brought us back together again. But just what's your general background? What would you want to say about yourself going into, your childhood, your growing up?
Well, David, it's really an odd, sad story, if you let it be sad. And I was given away for adoption when I was 3. My mother gave me away to a friend who adopted me, and that was fine. Looking back, I was glad it happened, but it caused problems for me because it was not adoption. It was one where they knew each other, so I still spent time with that family, my real family, and I don't know, it was like holidays, I would spend time with them. And anyway, it caused for a mixed up childhood and young adulthood. But anyway, I have been very fortunate. I've made some good friends. I've had some very interesting jobs that have made me do things in a field that I've loved my whole life, the sports. I was a sports writer starting off when I was 21, 22, and I did that for 10, 12 years. And then I got into the sports broadcasting, radio, television, and I really have enjoyed that. And I did that for many years until in my 40s, mid 40s, I got into apartment managing. And anyway, yeah, enough about that.
What I was going to say is, so tell us about your general health growing up. Yet at some point you discovered you were diabetic. How did that come about?
I discovered I was diabetic. I had to discover that because I wouldn't do it on my own. I had problems with my feet, numb sensation, and I had a sore on there, and I ignored it. I did not go get it checked. I said, and despite my wife and others saying, you really need to get checked out, you might be diabetic. No, I'm strong. I'm not diabetic. That's silly. Well, I lost those 3 toes, and that's when I found out I was diabetic. So that was it.
So you were getting warnings, you were getting encouragement, but pride got in the way, I guess you might say.
Pride got in the way, and I would have definitely saved 3 toes if I had not been so foolhardy.
Now, you've also told me that you were a smoker. Were you smoking at that time, and how did that get started?
Yeah. Marriage.
Okay, you better not say too much about that.
Well, I've been married twice, David.
Yeah.
First short marriage is when I started smoking.
Okay.
And I was a heavy smoker. I didn't smoke none during high school. In fact, I was the kind of guy who was disgusted by it. You smoke? What? That's disgusting. But I was disgusting. And I was a heavy smoker. I started smoking, and when I found out I was diabetic, David, I did not do what I was supposed to, as far as taking the insulin all the time like I was supposed to, and following the diet and things of that nature.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. Is that you find out you're diabetic?
Yeah.
What lifestyle changes did you make, or did you just go even harder into reckless diet, smoking?
Well, I don't know if I went harder, David, but I did not slow down.
Yeah.
I stayed about status quo and still denying my head and saying, no, that's not what happened to me. It's okay. And, well, I found out God gave me a wake up call. He could have been gentler about it, but he gave me a wake up call.
Okay, and I imagine by that, well, first before we get into that, give me an example of something you were doing as a diabetic that a diabetic should never do. Smoking. All right. Well, what about things you were eating, drinking?
I was drinking my Mountain Dews, which is okay if that's not okay, period. But I was drinking 3 or 4 a day, and that's just not good. With the high sugar. In fact, you can't drink as a diabetic. You cannot drink any drink that has any color in it. You can drink Sprite, Diet Sprite, things of that nature. But even diet drinks are not good for you, and especially with color. Anything with color, and I don't know why, but Diet Sprite is about the best thing I can have. That's what they gave me my months in the hospital.
All right. So you said you were a heavy smoker. Give me an example of how much you were smoking a day. What was typical there?
2 packs.
2 packs. Okay. 2 packs. Now, when did the first
stroke? You probably don't know this. There's 20 cigarettes in a pack. So it's 40 cigarettes a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's insane. All right. Now, what about just your body weight?
Yeah, that was something that was terrible. I was always a big guy,
Yeah.
In high school, I was 250, 260.
We nicknamed you Tank for a reason.
Yeah. It's not because I was little. It's not one of those opposite nicknames. Like my uncle was as big as me, and his nickname was Tiny. Now, that's not with me. My nickname was Tank because I was bigger than Tank. But anyway, I got up to about 350.
350?
Yeah.
Wow.
And actually, to be honest with you, I got up close to 400 when I was in when they first take me into the stroke rehab center.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm down now to 270. And,
okay.
I'm still working on it. It's
yeah.
a battle, but thanks to my wife and some help along the way, I'm doing much better. And the 14 strokes, that's opened my eyes also.
That's up there. Okay, so tell us about the very first stroke. How old were you? When did it happen? How bad was it?
I was at work as an apartment manager, and it was just one. I just had one, and I had it, and I went to I was okay. I could still walk. I could still talk and everything.
Okay, so it was kind of minor.
Yeah, it was just a minor stroke. It's all I've really had, thankfully. Which a minor stroke is nothing to sneeze at. After that, I I even went back to work, and then I had a rash of 13 strokes in 2 batches. I had 7 and then 6.
Wow. So you had, so after that first stroke, did you, I mean, were people saying, hey, you need to fix your diet, you need to quit smoking? What were you being told after that first stroke?
I was told that exactly. Hey, you need to straighten up. You need to quit that smoking, and you need to lose some weight and all that. And yeah, that's all he's got for me. Is that one stroke, I'm fine. It didn't bother nothing.
So again, the theme of pride is coming up in this.
Actually, it strengthened my pride, baby. I was like, man, I handled that fine. I mean, I was normal. Everything was fine.
Gotcha.
So whoever, well, I don't want. After that, I guess they said, well, okay, that wasn't enough of a wake up call for them. This really hit them, and they gave me the 13. So that did the trick. I was a year in rehab center. I cannot walk now. I have trouble with speech. It's something else.
And you were at points much lower than what you are now. I mean, tell me how bad I can tell my own version of how bad it was, but you tell me how bad did your health get during this series of strokes that you had?
And by the way, when it happened, the big rash of strokes, I was dead. I mean, I had died on the table twice, and they revived me. I guess that's the lowest my health got. But
so you flatlined twice.
Oh yeah, twice I flatlined. And my one thing, you drove up in Rockwood. No offense to Rockwood, and plus my medical sense wasn't that strong. I thought a stroke was left side weakness or death. I did not know all the mental stuff happened, and it really affected my brain to the point where you would not believe some dreams I had, Dave. I mean, in fact, during most of the dreams, I thought I was dead. Then there was some kind of afterlife talking to me because of my father, who died several years ago, was in them. And there was some other things that took place in them. But I even played some basketball. We were in high school back there, playing some basketball still. So anyway, some weird stuff.
Well, now one thing you told me is that in all this, and you heard at some point, you heard God.
That's right, I did. I was doing something in the dream or whatever it was, and I was in a grassy field by a lake, and I was just laying there on my back, and I heard a voice, and it was a very deep voice, a very calm voice. It said, "Listen, David, I'm not through with you, not yet. I'll let you know." And that was it. And David, I'm not a very religious person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the kind of person that's hurt anybody or done anything bad, but I have not been a religious person. And but when you face it firsthand, you change perspectives. And I don't know who that voice was, but who could it have been? I mean, to say something like that to me, and I can understand if it was like, yeah. Anyway, I can understand it, but that is the only conclusion that I could come to. It was a very calm, a very commanding voice. They said, David, we're not done with you. I'm not done with you. I will let you know, carry on. And that's it. And so that's
So
like
where
that's like under you, Dave.
so where would you describe your faith now? How
Well,
would you describe your faith?
I am I am learning, and I'm sorry, uh, I'm in the learning process. David, I consider myself a pretty smart guy, and not like you, not book smart and all that, but I think I have a pretty natural intelligence about me. And like I said, I couldn't tell you any formulas or anything like that, but other smarts, and and I had a weird way about me. I Anyway, I'm just doing a lot of reading, a lot of internet searching, and taking things slowly, trying to learn about God. And that's what I mean.
So you're seeking, you're learning, you're growing.
Oh yeah, I am.
That's good. That's excellent.
And I've got a good background, baby. You and my grandfather was a preacher, and I've got a little bit of a base there. I mean, I know about God, and I know about some aspects of the Bible, so I'm not going into it blind, but I'm going into it with my eyes more open.
That's good. All right, so you're married a second time.
Yep.
Melanie's her name.
Yep.
And your son Noah. Talk about how all this affected them.
Well, gosh, I can just imagine. I mean, first off, Melanie, man, she's a trooper. I mean, she has seen and had to do things that there's a lot of women out there who would not have stayed with me during this, and she's been very strong. She's been my rock, and my son has been super. He's and I've missed. That's what really bothers me is I've missed the important years of his life. You know how it is at the early teen years and those high school years. I think a kid needs a parent, a role model that can kind of help him through that. I mean, he's got friends and all that, and but I think I missed some really big aspects of his life, and I'm really proud of him. He's done well.
Well, he definitely always seemed to be a very nice young man.
Yeah.
When I was around him, and of course, as you said, yeah, Melanie is definitely an impressive trooper. That is for absolute sure. All right, so your message. Well, what's the message you're getting out? What are you wanting people to learn from your story?
Well, it's not a new message or anything like that. It's one that everyone's probably heard before, but time is not unlimited. You do not have an abundance of it. And if you're like me and you just guide through life, and there's some things you want to do, but you're not doing, you're not living a certain way, you're not seeking things that you want to seek, do it. Don't think, well, I can wait till I get my 60s and get religious and be saved. Now, you need to learn as soon as you can, and do the right thing. I mean, I always saw religion as uh, something that tied you down. Religion frees you. It don't tie you down. It it don't make you change your life. It makes you better your life. It, it don't make you no, I don't want to go sit in the church on Sunday. Oh no, or 3 hours during the week is going to be that bad. No, it's going to be great. It's going to be enlightening. It's going to help you not be like me and that's spiritually devoid. And really, it's. I'm not good at words, but you need to balance your life, and it's something that it should be top one or two priorities. And what it should be is not an addition to your life, but it should be something that encompasses all aspects of it. Your family, your work, religion is all of it, part of it. And it's not an addition or it's something on the side. It's everything. And that's what I want my religion to be. I want every aspect of my life. I'm not saying I want to go in and preach and all that and say, by the way, we're eating supper, but what's your views on, Jesus? I mean, I don't want that, but I want to know that my relationship with Jesus is one that I can be comfortable in and rely on, and because He saved me. I mean, Him and my wife and others, they have kept me here. So.
Wow, that's powerful. Are you hoping to be able to be a kind of public speaker, or just make appearances, or just talk to people? What?
Well, that's probably the ego in me, Dave. But
Yeah.
I am always spoke to people, and I've been in professions where I've been in the limelight in front of the camera or whatever. And I just want to help people. And if I can help people, I want to speak to groups, I want to speak to schools, whatever God wants me to do, I want to do.
Do you have a Twitter handle or just the email?
Well, I do have one. It's a Tank Strong, all one word, 69. By the way, the 69 is the year I was born.
Gotcha.
Tank Strong 69 at gmail.com.
Okay, so if someone sees this and they want to reach out to you,
Yeah.
tankstrong69 at gmail.com.
That's right.
Awesome. All right, man.
I'm also on Facebook, but Dave, I don't know how to get to me on Facebook.
I don't even know how to tell people to get to me on Facebook. There's 200 million David Hickses in the world. So, all right. Well, man, I think this
is David Johnson.
Yeah.
How many Mills was so
there's more than one.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely more than one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's been a great conversation. I think this is a great place to bring this video and hopefully podcast here to an end. And really enjoyed it. And if it's if I come and it's all messed up and something, we may do it again. But anyway.
And Dave, by the way, Dave, give your email address so if somebody's got questions or anything, they can email you or me.
Absolutely. Good point. Mine is david.hicks12 at gmail.com as well. david.hicks12 at gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to me. And thank you for sharing today, David. That's very powerful. Loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. All right. We'll stop this video here. Have a great day.